So thanks for joining AD info session, and this time we will introduce our new feature, Insights, and our professionals, Riia and Taha, will tell a bit more about the insights. First of all, like in general, these info sessions are something that we will occasionally do, and we are happy to hear if there are some kind of topics that you want to hear as well in our info sessions. As mentioned, we will record this session, and this will be available in YouTube, and we will share the link via ADE community. And we will have one Q&A session. So if there are some questions you would like to ask, then I will edit that way that you aren't showing in the YouTube video then. But hey, that was like general information about that. I think now it's time for Riia and Taha, so stage is yours.
All right, thank you. So my name is Taha. I'm a solutions architect with AD, and then we have joining us Riia as well, who is our analytics engineer. And today's agenda. So the topic is insights, like Ville said, and first I'll give a short introduction into what the insights actually is. Then Riia will show some things in practice in a demo, and then we'll discuss how you can get access to insights. And yeah, then in the end, we'll have time for questions, but you can type in questions in the chat whenever you have something to ask. So first of all, what is ADE Insights? So it's a new ADE service and capability, and it was actually announced in ADE Summit in the end of October. It's an analytics service built on ADE metadata and log data, and it provides you visibility into the data development and operations on your platform. So basically providing you the tools to analyze the platform and then continuously improve the performance. And then something about what kind of content we currently have in Insights. So first of all, the data ops KPIs, they were sort of starting point for the Insights development. And these KPIs are measuring data development and operations performance. And they are based on the DORA research program, which is a DevOps research program run by Google. And we also provide benchmarks for the KPIs, so you are then able to compare yourself to other ADE customers. Then there's the data product catalog. So that contains different kinds of details about your entities, including, for example, lineage. And this is something that is now also interesting for the end users of the data. So basically your business users can also start using ADE Insights. Then there are some general statistics available, some administration stuff like service status, audit events, and so on. And there is more coming. We are constantly developing the content. Then a little bit about who is it for. So obviously the data teams and the platform owners are the main target audience. So basically probably most of you in this call, so you can monitor and analyze how the development work is going. For example, your commit and deployment frequencies, lead times from development to production, and so on. But then also see how the platform is performing and operating, find and resolve some issues, for example, inefficient loads and things like that. And then, as I mentioned, the business stakeholders, the end users, as a new user group for ADE, so they can find information about their data products that they are using. So that's the introduction in brief, and now I will let Riia continue with a practical demo of some of the content there.
Okay.
So please take the share.
Sorry, Riia and Taha, to interrupt. Like, if you have questions, please ask them in chat. We will come back in Q&A session. But Satu asked about what is the definition of data product here, and when you are talking about data product catalog, and I think that's important to ask now before going those demos. So what about
I think,
Taha?
yeah, you will see some of that in the demo, but basically we are talking about the data products that you are developing with ADE, so the entities, the packages, the how they are performing, what kind of content is there. You will see descriptions and things like that, lineage, stuff like that. So you'll see that in a bit. So please, Riia, go ahead.
All right, let's hope this works. Okay, can you see insights?
Yes.
Okay, so let's take a closer look at some of the stuff that we have. And in the end, we'll also have a sneak peek at some new things that we're developing. If you've used Insights before, some of these views might look a bit different than what you're used to, but that's because we're working on some updated versions. But yeah, let's start by looking at the KPIs Taha mentioned. So those can be found under Data Ops Management KPIs. There is a general overview with all of the KPIs and then more detailed reports for each metric. But let's take a look at the overview first. Okay, and I think we can switch to the previous full month, so we have better numbers here. Okay, so on the left, we have metrics for kind of measuring the development velocity, like deployment frequency, meaning how many successful production deployment phases there are daily. And then we have lead time for changes, telling us the median time it takes for commits to reach the production environment. Then there are a few metrics for kind of quality and stability. First, change failure rate, so what percentage of deployment phases fail, and then time to restore services for deployments, which kind of tells us how quickly are these issues sorted out. And then we have the same stuff for loads in load failure rate and time to restore services. And then next to each KPI, there is kind of the comparison number from previous months, so how it has changed. And then the benchmark that Taha mentioned, which is the median across a selection of ADE users. Yeah, then if you want to see the more detailed report on a specific KPI, you can see it from here, from the left-hand side navigation, or you can just click on this tile. So let's, for example, take a look at the change failure rate report. We have some standard blocks that are repeating across reports. For example, this detailed explanation of the metric and how it has evolved across months, but also some metric-specific stuff, like in this case, the reasons for these deployment failures. Or then you can find which packages have been contributing to these issues in the bottom here. I think maybe that's enough about the KPIs. Let's have a look at something a bit more operational next. So under data operations, we can find workflows. And maybe switch to the development environment. Okay, here we have some general statistics on workflows. So executions per day, success rate, average duration, and then the same stuff visualized over time. And then also these metrics on workflow levels. in addition to the basic stuff that I mentioned, we have things like duration slope, so we can analyze which workflows have been gotten slower or maybe even faster over time. And then if we're interested in seeing specific loads that are executed under these workflows, we can click here. This is going to take us to the loads report. And again, we have similar stuff as in the previous dashboard. So execution per day, success rate, and duration. And I think on a loads level, the average duration and total duration that we can find here are especially interesting. So here we can, for example, identify the slowest loads and the ones that are contributing the most to our database bills. And yeah, let's say that we've found something that's suspiciously low, and we want to understand what is this entity and what is it used for. For that, we have the aforementioned data product catalog now. So let's go here and actually switch to the same environment. Here we can find a listing of all the entities that have been deployed to the selected environment. So let's try and find something. Okay, yeah. Well, let's, for example, take a look at this one. So this is a view that we think would be could be beneficial for not only for data teams, but also the business users that are using these data products. On the left, we have some basic details about this entity, like physical type and schema and hopefully a more descriptive comment usually, or a description, and then some package information. Then there are some load statistics, so load frequency. This kind of gives us an idea how often the data is updated. Then there is total load time per week, and then a load success and data quality success rates. These ones can help verify kind of the completeness and the quality of the data. Then we have the attributes listing for this entity, and on the bottom, these data lineage graphs. So first, source entities. So what entities is this specific one built upon? And then on the bottom, we can see that this one actually has no dependent entities. But let's look at one of these first level sources. So we've listed these here. So we can navigate to a source entity of this one. So let's, for example, look at that. And here we see that this one actually does have a couple of child entities, first one being the one that we were just on. Okay. Okay, before going to the final part, which is the new stuff, there's one handy feature that I'd like to highlight. So let's go to, for example, the development details report, which tells us some statistics about commits and deployments, and look at the filters. So here we have that group and user group. These are things that admins can configure in the settings. So you can group specific tags so that you can easily filter based on that. I think this one. Or then if you're, for example, interested in seeing data for a specific or your own team's numbers, you can define team level groups and then filter based on those. Okay. So those are some stats what we already have available. Next, let's take a look at some things that are coming up. We are developing a set of dashboards under the name Well-Designed Review. The goal of these is to kind of encourage good design practices and highlight potential issues or places for improvement. For example, we have a view for custom transformations. So here we've tried to identify custom transformation formulas that get repeated in multiple places. And in here, I think if you have a complex formula that's repeated 50 times across multiple entities or loads, then these could be ones that might benefit from being set up as templates and something that you can select from the drop-down menu rather than copy-paste these values every time. Another example is the attributes review view that we have here. So here we're actually using these previously mentioned user defined settings that we have here to define naming rules for attributes. So for example, we have a rule here that timestamp columns should always end with date. And then actually a rule to avoid, meaning that where we check that timestamp shouldn't end with date. And if we look at the first one on the list, we have an attribute called modified date, which is of type timestamp, and here we can see that that's not actually following any of the rules that we've defined here. You can have multiple rules for timestamp, and we just want to make sure that it's at least matching one of those. And then it's actually breaking this last rule here, which we've defined. Yeah, I think that's all that I had for now. I'll give the floor back to Taha, and if you have questions, yeah, we'll have time for those afterwards.
All right, thank you, Riia. Oh, try to get the presentation back on. Just a moment. So, yes. So then, the question, of course, is how can you get access to all of this wonderful information? So, like mentioned, Insights is currently in public preview, and it's an add-on service to Agile Data Engine. So there are some things that have to be done before you can get it. So there are some new general terms that the customer has to sign. Then there is something called the new multi-tenant user management, which is required for this. So this is actually, you can find in the documentation, or I can also paste it to the chat later, that you have to migrate from the old user management to this new multi-tenant user management. And it's something that will come at some point anyway, but the Insights service is already using it. Then the pricing will be announced early next year, but if you sign up by the end of this year, you'll get 2 months for free. And then as a side note, for those designer-only cases, the Insights is not supported. So if you would like to give it a go, you can contact us through the support portal or through one of our customer success team members. So that's pretty much what we had planned for today. Now we have a nice 10 minutes for questions. All right, Markus is raising his hand, or was it just an accidental one? I guess not then.
Yeah, sorry, that was an accident. I tried to upload you.
All right, thank you. So, any questions? Anyone already thinking about the weekend, or were we so complete that there are nothing? Okay, Antti is saying something in the chat.
Just saying that really impressed. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Okay, I guess there is nothing. So Ville, did you have some kind of final words in mind or?
Yeah. Hey, thanks for all. Nice to see here so many people that are interested in insights. And as Taha mentioned, if you want to learn more, just take contact our customer service personnel. We will share these links to this video later on to the community Slack, so that's also a place where to contact us if you want. And in general, what to wait for about the ADE community. Next year we will continue these info sessions, and again I will ask you if there are any good ideas what are important for you. We are more than happy to have those kind of info sessions that you are needing. Of course, there is a community meetup to come and so on. So maybe again ADE summit a bit later on. But yeah, lot is happening in ADE community. Please be active on our community and have a great Christmas time when it comes. I think from our perspective, we are now done. And again, thanks for joining this meeting.